Hi everyone. So sorry, I'm turning up a bit late. I'm so sorry. I had a glitch with my system. I was just trying to fix it, but hey, we're here. Hi everyone. Okay. If you're joining me for the first time, thank you for joining in. If you're replaying, thank you for replaying basically and stopping by. It really means a lot to me. Yep. So welcome to my day 2 of our digital business talks. For those who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Michelle Ekpenyong. So today is the second week I am going live basically to talk about having an extra stream of income or starting something new, something different from what you are used to, and giving yourself a chance to explore. And this is especially for my brothers and sisters who are either new migrants, people who have lived in the diaspora for a couple of years, and you are probably feeling stuck with what you've been up to and you want to learn something new, especially if you're looking at exploring the online space. So that is where these conversations are coming from. And just to give a brief intro for anybody who is, stopping by or just swinging by, Digital Business Talks is basically to encourage migrants, people who move to new countries and they are looking for a way to scale up, living beyond just paycheck to paycheck, or looking for how to explore doing something extra in addition to your careers, your 9 to 5, whatever it is you've been up to, So that's what these talks, digital business talks, are basically all about. So if you're passing here for the first time, that's the brief intro. So today is the second week. Today, Thursday, the 28th, is the second week. Last week, Thursday, same time, we talked about why you should just get started already, because I understand that people have this tendency of, taking a lot of time to do their research, probably people who have been scammed before, wanting to be sure of what they are getting into. It's okay for you to do your research. It's okay for you to take your time. But like I said in the last session, the best time for you to start is now. Because by the time you start, you see that you were dragging your feet all the while and you were missing out on a lot. So if you've ever had interest in leveraging the online space to do something, either affiliate marketing, drop shipping, whatever it is, taking an online course that would help you enhance your digital skills, the best time to start that is now. And why not? If you're interested in joining our online community to start up your own business, we are here to help you. I'm here to take you through my journey of how good it's been, and basically to mentor you and guide you through the entire process of how our online digital business works. So today, we're going to be talking about, moving from just surviving to being stable. Yes, that's where I decided to factor our conversation for today for. And that is because for most of us who relocated abroad recently, or for those who have been living in the diaspora for the last 2 to 3 years, people who are still trying to, get stable, understand how the system is structured, I feel like there's a lot of struggle out there. I've been there. I have people around me whom I understand are also going through the same thing. The story of leaving your country, for most people, leaving their comfort zone to start a new life, has to do with a lot. Most times it's like taking a total shift from what you're used to, and then starting from the scratch is not funny at all. It's not. So I've been there. I've been in Canada for about 2.5 years now. I'm gradually getting to my 3rd year. I know how the first 6 months was. I know how the first year actually was. And based on my experience and the experiences of people around me, I just thought that having these conversations would go a long way to help people to have an extra earning stream, do something extra from what they are used to, move from the norm, which is probably you getting a job, your husband getting a job, the two of you are running the kind of jobs that makes you run shifts, and most times you barely have time to spend quality time with yourselves as a family. So this is the part where I'm trying to introduce to you doing something extra, especially by leveraging the online space. And today we are talking about moving from survival to stability. Let's say from, let me just talk about myself. From when I moved to Canada, it was beyond, the cost of living and everything was beyond my expectations. I wasn't expecting that the life I was going to live in Canada was going to be same as how I was living in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I was literally very comfortable. But one of my cousins, while I was, putting myself together to relocate, told me, if you get to Canada, just know that it's going to be a total life shift for you. I've been to your place in Nigeria and I know that you're doing comfortably well. But just have the understanding that when you get to Canada, it's not like you're going to continue. You're going to be starting all over again. And that means you're going to have to do a total shift from how comfortable you are in Nigeria to move into Canada. So I was kind of prepared, but I wasn't as prepared as, where I'll be living to worry about how my dollars are coming and going. I don't know if I'm making sense to anyone out there. When the money comes in at the end of the month, the bills also coming in. Besides you just swiping your card because you've probably put in or registered your credit card in some bills here and there, the money just keeps going, and most times you are almost unable to save. I got to that point where I was spending like 3 to 4 times what I was spending averagely as an average person in Nigeria. So it was really getting alarming. So when I got fully settled, like I said in my last session, I started scouting for something else, something to add to my income, basically something extra. Besides learning something new, I was also interested in the income as well. And that's how I landed myself starting my business in the online space. And it's been nothing short of a blessing for me and my family. First of all, I'm usually in the online space, when I have my free time, I check out what's going on Facebook or Instagram. I think those were the 2 channels I was really, really active. And then recently I just started doing a bit of TikTok when I started understanding some other channels and all. And then I also have my YouTube channel where I used to promote my work, my 9-to-5 work, and talk about basically what we do in education consulting. So besides just once in a while popping up and making those videos, I wasn't interested in anything other than just, promoting my job and helping people, because I usually really get a lot of leads from my videos that I post on my YouTube page. That was all I knew about the online space, but I wanted to know more. I wanted to explore more. As a salesperson, I work hand in hand with the marketing team, but I knew nothing about how they set up all these ads, how these promotions are done, how you're able to read your algorithms and see what is doing well, what's not doing well, and how to improve. So I was really interested in knowing more. So it was more of improving myself and also earning an income. In addition, that's where the quest came from, and that's how I started. And that's because I didn't want to get a second job. I had a supposedly comfortable job, and for me the income wasn't enough, but I wanted something extra. So I told myself, instead of getting a second job, which would probably have taken me out of my 4 walls because I work remotely, maybe to go to the job and come back, I decided, hi Lashonda, thank you for joining in. Thank you, you're welcome. This is just to acknowledge you. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I decided instead of getting a second job, I would rather just leverage the online space and see how I can improve my skills and also have a yardstick to earn something and get stable so that I will stop surviving and be more stable. So that's where all of this came from. So now let me go to defining or putting a definition to what survival means and what stability means. Survival is being able to meet your basic needs, where you are probably always worrying about the bills and you are unable to rely on any other income source. Surviving is, yes, you're seeing the money, but at the end of the day, when the money comes, it goes to different things, different purposes, like the bills, and before the end of the month, you're almost left with nothing. That's surviving. That's not being stable. You know, I was at that point. Yes, and it was also not easy because we were funding part of our life from our businesses in Nigeria. So I was looking for a way that Nigeria should sort out Nigeria, and, you know, living in Canada should also sort out Canada. Yes, I had quests to start up other businesses, which are also in line, but I just saw something about the digital space that I needed to tap into and start something. And that's how I found myself here. And then stability now, moving from surviving to stability, is having a predictable cash flow, having the ability to plan and to save with the income that comes into you every month, and having multiple streams of income. That is also very possible living in the diaspora. That is also possible, not just you getting more than one job, but you starting up what you can call your own, something you can grow, something you can nurture, and probably fall back on when you decide to take your exit from, you know, working for people, when you finally decide to focus fully to run your own business. Sometimes because of the schedules of working 9 to 5, a lot of people don't even have the time to plan or to think of a concrete plan and follow through with the plan. Because why? Yes, you have your leave. When you have your leave, you're either planning to go on a vacation, or that's the time you really want to rest and not go through the hassles of starting a traditional business. But the online business gives you the flexibility to start anytime, from anywhere, as long as you make up your mind to learn something new. The flexibility around leveraging the digital business space is what really attracted me. The fact that, first of all, I was going to be learning at my pace. Secondly, I was going to run my schedules without, you know, sitting on eggshells or, you know, getting worried about meeting timelines and all of that. The fact that I could plan my schedule and go through with it was one of the attractive things that really made me say I needed to start something in the online space. Now, let's talk about how a digital income can create stability for you. I talked about flexibility and flexible earning opportunities, like the fact that you can work from anywhere as long as you have your phone or as long as you have your laptop. Wherever you're going to, you can just decide to pick up your system or to pick up the same phone. So instead of just spending time and scrolling, you know, watching other people's contents, liking and commenting, you can use that time to, you know, do something productive around your automated systems, around your business that has been set up. Check who is reaching out to you, reach back to them, give them feedback, respond to their questions, give them the guide they need to also start or grow in their own business. If it's a drop shipping or any affiliate marketing you're doing, you do it all in the comfort of wherever you find yourself and with your phone or sometimes with your laptop. That's the part, the flexible part that really caught my attention. And then the fact that a digital business can give you multiple earning room. It's amazing. It's amazing. There is nothing you do online that is legit that doesn't come with some form of income. So whether it's freelancing, whether you're taking some online courses that maybe you learn and can buy them and sell off, it's really up to you. Or better still, our online digital business, which has helped a lot of people to quit their jobs and focus on growing their own brand and focus on growing their own business and managing their time. Another thing an online digital income stream can help you or can give you to become stable is that it is cost efficient. It is cost efficient when it comes to the startup. It's not like a traditional business where you are thinking of maybe renting, getting a lease, getting a place to, where your business would have its showroom or a face for the business. Then you start hiring people. For an online business, you can start and be the boss and the staff and do everything all by yourself until it grows to the extent where you feel that, okay, you need some form of virtual assistance, or you need to start building a team because the business has grown. But you can run your business for years on your own. In our digital business, my mentors, my coaches, they have been in this business for years, and you hear, okay, it's just a couple running it, husband and wife. Maybe the wife does the admin, or the wife does the promotions, and the husband has the things they are doing in the business over time. Otherwise, you can do it yourself. It's as flexible as you setting up your structures, and especially with the help of the automated systems, you're able to do everything all by yourself until it gets to a point where you feel that, okay, I need to be taking some breathers, so I probably need a hand or two, to help me push through so that I don't break down, because it grows to that point, especially when you are as committed as possible. Now, let's talk about practical steps. If you're a migrant, this is basically for you. Let's talk about practical steps to starting and, starting your own business and owning your own business. Your dream should be to start small. Yes, the reason I'm making a point on starting small, it's because most times people feel that starting a business, whether it's online, whether it's a traditional business, would require so much of your time. And I mean, for some people, it takes you a long time before you're able to land yourself a job. So you don't want anything that would jeopardize your chances or, divert your attention from your work. Even if the work is not giving you the comfort you desire, you just feel that you don't have the time. This is the place where I tell people, start small. You can start with 1 hour. You can start with 30 minutes. But just give it that 30 minutes daily, or give it that 1 hour daily. That is only when it will grow. Take, for example, you start a traditional business. You're not showing up in your business every day. A business you just started, you got a lease, put in products, and you want to sell, and you don't just show up. Or because you hired people to, help you do your sales, you don't check up. You don't micromanage to see how the business is picking up. It's not going to go anywhere. So it's the same thing with the online digital business. If you start a business, you make up your mind to show up every day, even if it's for 30 minutes, even if it's for 1 hour. When I invested into my online digital business, I actually felt I didn't have all the time, because my 9 to 5 is demanding. I do it all by myself with my kids. Then my husband wasn't joining us in Canada, but he's here now. Even while he's here, I need to give him time. I need to give the kids time. I need to run the home, without any extra hands. So I felt I wasn't going to have enough time to be turning up. But when I got my training package, I had to make up my mind that to go through this training, especially because I'm not accountable to anyone, is as flexible as me running my schedule. I made up my mind that I was going to give it 1 hour every day. I knew that was a lot, because most times I sign off from work at 3 or 4, depending on how busy my day is. But then I said between 4 to 9 to 10 p.m. Most times I go to bed at 9 or at 10 p.m. I usually have time for my phone. And that time for my phone is what I decided to convert to go through my trainings. And because the training package is quite robust, it took me about, for some people it takes them 2 weeks, some people it takes them 3 weeks, depending on your timing. But for me, it took me about a month, because I was traveling in between. I was also attending to my 9 to 5. So I made a plan, a 1 month plan, to go through the trainings. And that 1 month plan, I said every day I'll turn up for 1 hour. Well, by the first week, after turning up for 1 hour for 2 or 3 days, I started making it 2 hours because it was interesting, and I wanted to get to a point where I'll start promoting my ads, and I knew I didn't have any time to waste. So that's how the online digital space is. Start small. Give yourself a little time from the time you think you don't have. Start small, and then when things start picking up and you start getting more interested, getting deep into everything you need to learn, you will just see that there's more time than you think you actually have. Yeah. Hello again, everyone. I'm not sure what actually happened. I was just going on, and the next thing, my phone went off. These glitches happen. I'm really sorry about that. So if you were listening or watching, please come back. Let's finish our conversation. I honestly don't know what happened. My phone just blanked out, and I was checking if it was the internet, but I don't think that was the issue. But hey, I'm back, and I was talking about practical steps you can take to starting your business, and I talked about starting small. And then secondly, you can also leverage on different online platforms. Right now, artificial intelligence has made it so easy, as long as you are ready to embrace and learn different things online. There are apps that you can either use for free or pay a little, amount to subscribe monthly. And these apps can help you. If you make a video, you post that same video in your different social media platforms. For example, I have a colleague in the business who uses her TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook to promote her business. So all she just does is she sets up her video and channels them to her different social media channels. So it's just easy. Make one video, program the setup, and it spreads across your different social media channels. So it's not like you're going to post here and then you go to the other side and start posting. No, Meta has made things a lot easier now for people, to go through the online space easily without having to sweat much. Then you can track your income and expense gradually, and then you move from just surviving to being stable. Yes, you can track your income. And for the online business, the earnings are not fixed. Most times it's born out of your input. Trust me. It's just like doing any other thing. Say, for example, you're studying for an exam and you want to come out with an A+. You need to give in an A+ time to get an A+. I think it's only on rare cases you see maybe people who are genius, they don't get to study so much and then they come out with those kind of results. But thinking back, when I'm in school or when I was studying, if I really want to come out with something amazing, I put in the time. So that's the same thing with your online business. If you want a certain kind of income, you need to put in the time to get that income. That's the truth. And the time doesn't mean you're going to be spending the whole day. No, where automated systems work, you don't need to put in so much time as such. It's just to make sure you set up your structures right and then you show up. Say, for example, you set up an ad and you are generating leads and people are reaching out to you. You need to respond to them. Yes, there are cases where you set up the automated systems to respond to them. Maybe send them an automated message, 1 or 2 automated messages. At some point, you need to show up to respond to their individual questions, because they may be asking a question you haven't set up in your automated system to answer. So that's where showing up comes in. So that's why I'm saying you don't have to spend the entire day, but just ensure that your structures are set up right, and then you show up to see the demands and you get to meet individual needs beyond just getting automated responses. Because for me, when I indicated interest in one of the ads I saw before I started my business, I first got like a welcome random automated message telling me a little more about the business and giving me a link on where to watch, what to watch, And then the second time, I got a mail directly from my mentor, who is currently my coach now, and the mail showed her name. So I knew that this was not an automated message, but the message sounded similar to the first one I got. And I said, okay, this is the person I'm hoping that I would have to communicate with, so that I'm not sending a message to an AI. So I responded to her message with a question, and then she responded back. So at some point, people need you to show up and respond to any questions they have, personal questions most times, different from, like I said, what you must have set up. So, and another thing is dealing with the common things that act as an objection for people to make a decision to start something. A lot of people will tell you, I don't have any tech skills. For our online digital business, you don't have to have any tech skills. Yes, for me, I work in a tech organization, so I have a little bit of idea how the tech space work. But trust me, I didn't have that enough skills to be sure that I could do a lot of things myself. So I liked to call myself back then tech savvy. I'll just tell you, I don't know anything about technology. I'm not so interested in artificial intelligence. I don't know how it works. But getting introduced to my business, I started giving myself a chance to learn a lot of things. And trust me, the skills I've built over the last couple of months starting my business are awesome. I see a lot of things that on a normal day, I wouldn't have been able to figure out how it's working. But because I've learned those things, I already know how these things are set up. So nothing comes as a shock to me. And then taking responsibility for and managing my business, it's also the additional benefit I have gotten in my business. The fact that I said I am running my business. I am the one running my ads. I'm not calling external digital marketers to help me set up things, to help me edit things. Our training package taught me everything that I use to show up, that sometimes I do my graphics on different apps, and I'm like, wow, did you actually come up with this yourself? So you get to, learn a lot of things. And then another thing, a lot of people will tell you, oh, I don't have time. My 9-to-5 job is very hectic. By the time I get home, just like me, my 9-to-5 job is remote, but it's still very demanding. It requires a lot from me. Sometimes I wake up so early to start because of the different time zones I work from, and then I am also closing very late because when I'm going to bed, my colleagues in other regions are awake, and sometimes we have to get into calls or have meetings before I go to bed. So it's also time demanding, but I made out time. You need to make out time. Trust me, no matter how busy you are, an average human being, you would always check your phone. I'm not talking about checking just messages on your WhatsApp. A lot of us go beyond WhatsApp, go on social media. It's just a few people who tell you, I don't even have a social media handle. But I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, 8 people have social media handles and actually, embrace the social media space to know what's going on around the world. Yes, that's the truth. If you want to check statistics, please go ahead and do that. That happens a lot. And then some people will tell you, I am afraid of failing. I am afraid of failing. And what I tell people at this stage where you are worried about failure is that you should be open to see failures as an opportunity to learn to do it better. Yes, I have failed in a lot of things in the past. I remember the first time when I was in my junior secondary and I had to recite English. Yes, I had to recite English. It was so devastating. It was really, really devastating. I didn't see it coming and I cried my eyes out. Like I felt like a failure. But our guidance and counseling teacher then said something to me. See this failure as an opportunity to do it better. Go, prepare, and come back and take this exam. And I came back and took the exam and I had a B. The point is, it's okay to feel bad when you fail, but it's not okay to let failure stop you from, pushing further. it's not okay to allow failure to stop you from redoing that thing again. Yes. So instead of being scared to fail, keep your options open. Starting in any business in life is a risk. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you wouldn't, sometimes you have some setbacks, and sometimes it will just be a free thing for you. But hey, when the failure comes or the mistakes comes, see it as a learning point. Shake it off. Cry if you want to cry, but at some point, get up, dust it off, and take that step again. You take it better, trust me. That's what usually happens. I've seen a lot of people, when they fail at something and they repeat it, a lot of times you come out successful. And also change your mindset around it, that if I try it again, I'm going to do it better this time. Then put in the effort. You'll see that the result will be different. So that's what I would tell anybody out there. Don't let failure stop you from taking your chances on opportunities that are presented to you. So the key takeaway for me today in this conversation is that survival, doesn't have to be your way of life simply because you just relocated abroad. Don't survive for too long. Figure out ways that you can do something extra to step up your income. If you get a job, fine-tune ways that you can, start something on the extra to add to what you're doing. Don't just sit there, ask questions. Go online, do your research. If you see people selling something online that is working for them, do your research, ask questions. Don't just, swing by and say, oh, they are scammers. Not everything online ends up being a scam. Yes, for some of us, we've been scammed. So we have a right to doubt things when we see them. That is where doing your research comes in. Do your research, take your chances, give yourself the honors of, pushing yourself to start that thing. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. So I hope that the few things I've shared today in this conversation would help anybody out there, especially new migrants. The online digital space is a good place for you to start. It's a good place for you to leverage. If you see people selling things, courses, anything, as long as you do your research and you know that it's legit, ask your questions. Take the step. Start it. Learn. Man up and do your thing. Learn everything. Network. Push yourself to do something extra. Don't just stay in one space and expect to grow overnight. And then when you start something, give it time to grow. You can't plant a tree and it grows and starts bearing fruits overnight. Yesterday, I was feeling really down. I felt like I'm doing a lot of things at the same time. So I started feeling really stuck. It felt like they were not coming through. A lot of things were not coming through. And then I thought about my online digital business. I said, I started this business and it's picking up. I'm building the connect I need. The income is coming in. So why am I feeling bad that one other thing I'm trying to push hasn't started picking up? Give yourself time and don't give up. Just keep pushing. Whatever it is you've put your hand to do, as long as you are determined to show up, as long as you're committed to pushing it through, it would yield the fruits that you expect of it. Water it, nurture it as much as possible. Don't just let it wither away, especially if you're not getting the kind of engagement you're looking for. Keep showing up. The engagements will come. Hi, Marie. Thank you for joining in. Hi, Ita. Thank you for joining in. So I'm just going to round off here and leave you with some words. But for our next session, I would share the next topic a day or two before the talk on Thursday. And it's still going to be 7 p.m. same time, Eastern time zone. And for anybody who would be watching or replaying and you want to be on the live sessions, please feel free to join in live. Put in your comments. You can share your story on how relocating abroad as a migrant, the things you've done that has helped you become stable, because a lot of people abroad are surviving and all they are looking for out there is to be stable. That's why they end up doing 2 to 3 jobs. It's because they want to be stable. And then you're doing as much as 2 to 3 jobs, but you're still you're not comfortable because you don't even have the time. You don't have the time to actually relax and enjoy the income of working more than 2 to 3 jobs. The online space is where you can actually relax and do something extra with your 9 to 5 without missing out on spending time, quality time with your family, or missing out on activities and events that would help your children be on the same pace as their peers. As much as possible, no matter the businesses you're thinking of doing out there, make sure that leveraging the online space is part of them. If you know nothing about what to do, where to start, or what platform to trust, start with ours. And if you're interested, send me a direct message. I'll send you a link to start from where I started from. In our business, there are instances where people whom you held their hands and brought them into the business, go move ahead of you. Yes, because there are no fixed structures. It just literally depends on how much time you put in. Make up your mind to put in the time to learn, to keep developing yourself. In our business, we have weekly trainings where we connect and we learn different things from different individuals. People come on to share what they are doing that is working for them. So in case you're doing something and that thing is not working for you, you pick up an idea from the training sessions, the weekly training sessions of what is working for someone. And most times, by the time you put it into yours, it helps you scale. So I've seen cases where I bring people into the business and they scale up. They go ahead of me. Everybody grows at their pace, depending on the time you're able to put out there. So if you've ever sat back and feel that you're surviving, you're feeling stuck, you want to do something extra, the online space is where to think of doing something extra. First of all, the investments you may need to start something wouldn't be as much as starting a traditional business. Then the time, the flexibility of working from anywhere, anytime, and planning your schedule is a lot. And I'm sure you don't want to gamble with that. So for today, I'm going to leave you with saying, start thinking of how to live beyond surviving to becoming stable. The fact that you migrated to a new country doesn't mean that you shouldn't be as comfortable as you were before you left your country. There are a lot of things you can do, and one of which is leveraging the online space. You can decide to start with our own digital business, and of course, I'll be your mentor, I'll be your guide. You can start with any freelancing, drop shipping, anything you've done your research and you're sure that it's legit. You could start from there. But just make sure you're doing something extra to have an extra earning stream. So thank you for dropping by to watch today. If everything I've said today resonates with you, or it reminds you of something you've done before and you want to encourage others, feel free to drop in your comments. People learn a lot from the comments that are shared. I actually appreciate direct messages, but I do really feel that public comments have a way of helping other people who read those comments to see where they can start from and move to. I'm going to also drop the link where you can just register, watch the free webinar that we usually share out to people who are interested in starting their business. And if you watch the video and you have questions and you want me to, give you the next steps or guide, hold your hand, I'll be here. So thank you for turning up today. I'm gonna be wrapping up now, and I'm hoping to turn up again next week by the grace of God to have more talks on starting your own digital business. Thank you for turning up today, and have a good night's rest. Bye.